Happy Candlemas. Oh. Well, there we go. 30 years of work. I got some of my papers done here. Look at that. Happy Groundhogs Day. Punxsutawney Phil. Here from an imposter of the inner circle, I say, yay. Whistle pegs. Something about seeing your shadow. It's got to have to do with something like seeing reality presenting itself and decided whether you want him to look at it or not in the coming year. See, there's an idea. Candlemas, an ancient Sumerian holiday. Oh, Victoria and I went to Punxsutawney a couple of Thanksgivings ago, which was a perfect weekend to do it. I hate to let out the secret, but we were able to get a great room and a bed and breakfast. It was opening day of hunting season in Pennsylvania, and we got to go to the parade, and they brought out Punxsutawney Phil. Everybody said, "You're not going to see him anyway, he's hibernating." I'm like, that's okay. A terrible time to be around when there are woodchucks running over groundhogs. They're running all over. They got the teeth and they attack. I'm like, it's just as well. But then they brought Punxsutawney Phil out, and there was a senator in one of the cars. He's like, "I like your hat." We're going, yeah, and the fire trucks are going by, and people didn't know what the fuck was going on, and there was a professional wrestler woman that was a dentist that was in town, and TBS was there, and it was everything. Wow, we got all that. Look at that. I even bought a fucking hat. I don't wear that hat very often. Simply because I like the hat. I don't want to destroy it. The thing we really don't understand about Punxsutawney and Gobbler's Knob, because Victoria and I went up there. We did a video. It did pretty well. It's on the playlist, Punxsutawney Getaway. We went to Gobbler's Knob, and somewhere in there I was reading the history, and they're talking about it originally started at Gobbler's Knob. People would go out and kill all the woodchucks, and they'd fucking have a feast and eat the woodchucks. It's like, geez, that's not a very good way to start it. We're supposed to love Punxsutawney Phil. We do. He tastes like chicken? Maybe not so much. However, thought about it. Just occurred to me today when I was sitting there doing nothing. And I realized it's Groundhog's Day. Candlemas, the cold will come. You know, according to the old Farmer's Almanac. I remember reading Guns, Germ, and Steel. Germs and Steel. Not just one germ. Guns, Germs, and Steel. Which takes me back to something somebody said about syphilis on one of these videos yesterday I watched, and they said syphilis is a bacterial disease. And I'm like, you're wrong. Fake news. Syphilis is a microfilarial disease. It's a fucking little bitty worm that goes into your frontal cortex, and the worms ate all of my brain. Ate into my brain, whatever they do. So whatever it is, I'm thinking about Guns, Germs, and Steel, and how they talked about being able to domesticate things. See, it had to become some sort of thing because the town couldn't domesticate the goddamn groundhogs. They're all over in the holes. They're eating up the fields. They're all over the place. but you cannot domesticate them. That's why they didn't become a big domestic product in Punxsutawney, because they just can't fucking domesticate them. They would hunt them down and eat them, and it's like, geez, it's taking as much energy to walk around in the woods for 3 days and shoot a fucking whistle pig off a fucking grassy knoll is what you're getting out of it when you finally fucking eat it. And evidently they don't taste like chicken. Guns, Germs, and Steel. That book, it speaks about domestication. And it talks about the idea how a fucking... I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. How a fornicating zebra is not the same as a horse. They look alike, they're so closely related, but the problem they had with zebras was they couldn't domesticate them. The horses were able. The same way orangutans and us, we the Homo sapiens, not the Homo sapiens, they're still walking around like this and hitting things with clubs. But Homo sapiens are social creatures, not just looking for dominance. They want to live together. Whereas an orangutan is a person that goes out to the woods on his own. It's humanity, orangutanity, in the same kind of idea we have of zebras and horses. Not just zebras and horses. You can't fucking fornicatingly train one, whereas you can the other. But it goes right to wolves. If you really want to understand it, they tell us that the modern dog is a descendant of the wolf. How they were, well, you know, domesticated. But as it turns out, it's not the wild wolf that we see walking around that's an ancestor of our modern dog. It was in Discover magazine, I read that. I can't tell you the month or the year, but it was somewhere between 2015 and 2018. It's a different animal. It's a different species. It's that very way that you can't get a zebra to become a horse. It's the very way that you can't have goddamn Punxsutawney Phil running around and, hey, get over there, get over there, get over there. They would die before they reach maturity to the point that they could be eaten. Like trying to plant a fucking acorn. That's why we don't eat acorns any more than we do, is because an oak tree takes so long to grow before it can dump off any profitable, sustainable yield type of thing. That, why would we bother with it? There are so many things, there are so many ways easier. Oh, Punxsutawney Phil. If you want to eat Punxsutawney Phil, pick him up off the roadside. But you'll never domesticate him. You'll never make him like a chicken, sitting on a roost, going where it belongs, giving you its babies. It will never be like the kind of sellout that gives megalomaniacs all its babies just so they can thrive. It shall not be domesticated. Hey, happy Groundhogs Day.